Hi Q&A cuties, welcome back to the Q&A podcast. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Mel.
And Mel, it's been a while, so I wanted to catch up with you. How are you doing? Any new animes you might be watching?
Yes, I actually have a lot of new anime that I've started. Emphasis on the started because I never finished any anime. I will talk about the one that I did finish. I binged it in like a couple weeks, but it's Shinsekai Yori. I highly recommend. It is so like artsy. Any art hose, listening right now, I think you'd love it because it's super philosophical, social commentary, but it's like about powers and social hierarchy and stuff. It's crazy, super cerebral, very mind flow. What is that like? Flow of mind, flow of thought kind of anime. Really cool. Yeah. What about you?
Okay. Luckily, I've actually had time to watch more, and I know everyone's watching Chainsaw Man, and if you haven't started yet, so good. It's honestly like Hunter x Hunter is my favorite, but Chainsaw Man is really good. And it's gotten a lot better with the newer episodes. What else? Oh, Tokyo Revengers. Slow at first, but really good. Like it's a very cute anime. I don't know if you've seen it, but
I haven't.
recommend. It's kind of it gets better like episode 9, but yeah, no, it's a really like cute and wholesome.
Episode 9.
Yeah, I know. There's like 20 something.
Oh, okay,
And
great. Yeah.
but so it's pretty. Yeah, it's not bad, but really cute. Yeah.
All right. Well, enough about anime because I know we could talk about that for hours. But I do want to move into today's topic, which is body image and beauty standards.
Ooh,
Yay!
yay!
Scary.
I know.
But yeah, so I know that there is so much to talk about with this topic. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I wanted to ask you, Kevin, was there anyone that influenced kind of the ideal body image and set of beauty standards that you had growing up? How did you acquire that kind of sense of body image and whatnot?
Growing up as a kid, I think it depends, obviously. In like elementary school, there weren't like a lot of Asian individuals at my school. There are obviously a few, but to me, in my eyes, like the body image was set by someone else, and it was always like the athletic, like white individual, because I was never athletic growing up, and so I was always like, dang, like I want to be like the runner, like I want to be good at football, I want to be this like super like athletic guy that everyone looks up to and stuff like that. And so that's like kind of what set it. And like that's why going into even high school, I was like, I want to do a sport, I want to do this, and kind of like get that physique that is idolized and like that everyone wants and stuff like that.
So when you say everybody kind of idolized that, where and when, I guess, was the first indicator that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to look like, like this is what I should be striving for? Was it people would like thirst over things, like in media, mass media and whatnot?
I think, yeah, mainly it's definitely different now, but back then it was very much like the popular kids were always those athletic people, and so I guess that's what led to be like that idolization, like that wanting or desire to want to look like them. And I say it's different now because I'm sure you've heard of like the female gaze versus the male gaze, kind of like that idea. And growing up, I think, it's always that male gaze of like wanting to look buff or like be athletic, be fit to like have that physique and look good so that everyone wants you and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily the case anymore. But that's just, I think, what we realize now. But do you feel like you had a similar experience, or is it completely different?
No, it was pretty much the same thing. Definitely, being the jockey, sporty, kind of very masculine kind of figure was the ideal, I guess, body image standard. I feel like I acquired that sense really early on. Like I remember in as early as like third grade, there was one dude that, you know, all the girls were into, and he was the quite literally the best soccer player like at my school. And I was like, is this like, am I supposed to like do this? Like, am I supposed to like be super fit and athletic and, you know, and whatnot? And I think it was both a combination of that, but also a lot of my ideal body image kind of standards and whatnot were acquired at home too. I definitely think what I would hear from my family and also what I saw in mass media kind of worked in tandem to make me feel like I need to stay fit and not necessarily like thin or anything, but you know, like have muscle and stay lean, don't get, you know, don't gain weight and whatnot. I want to say family definitely did have a huge part in that.
I agree. I think
Mhm.
that I completely forgot that I don't know if you it's I saw this comedian what's her name Atsuko, it was on TikTok, and it was like this she was talking about how like whenever she'd go to families, like they'd be like, oh, did you eat yet? Like, oh no, here, eat more, like eat please, like come on, eat, and like, oh, you're too skinny, like eat. And then like the next time they see you, they like, you're too, like you gained so much weight, you're too fat, like
Mhm.
you look like, but it's like this double standard of you're telling me to eat, like you
Yeah.
want us to eat more and like look healthy, but then it's like, oh, now you're too fat, you're too this. And I'm
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
kind of, I mean, I didn't necessarily have that specific experience, but very similar where it's, oh, like you're too skinny. And then later on, it's like, oh, now you've gained weight. It's just, there's a lot of family standards, especially in Asian households, that they set up for you growing up and ingrain in you.
No, definitely. I think there is a sense of no boundaries. You know, there a lot of Asian aunties are so comfortable to just come up to you, haven't seen you in years, and they're just gonna be like, "Oh, you know, you look fat, you look, you know, you look darker, you look this, and that," and it's kind of crazy because you know you go any other place and no one's ever gonna say, or usually, you know, hopefully, no one is that bold to just come up to you and say stuff like that, and I feel like that kind of rewires your brain a little going through that constantly. So,
And it definitely
uh,
affects you mentally, like emotionally. And
mhm.
it's, yeah, I remember, so I ran cross country, and I've said that before. And so I was always out in the sun, especially like almost year round because then track. And I was obviously like more tan, and
Mhm.
that would be an issue to my family. Like, oh, wow, like you're really dark. And
Uh,
they would make comments on it. And I'd be like, I mean, I run. Like, what? I can't do anything about it.
I
And to
can't run
me,
on a treadmill for
I
cross country.
know,
Like,
and there was no issue with it to me
mhm.
until like they started bringing it up. So it's like just those image standards of like that as well.
I also ran cross country for two meets, uh, but yeah, definitely heard the same things. I did tennis actually junior year, and I definitely became a lot darker from being in the sun every day. And my parents would have a problem with it sometimes, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? Like, there's literally nowhere else I could play tennis but outside." Yeah, it's crazy.
So can we like talk about like where that comes from and like that ideology of them adopting that standard of whether it's like American like beauty standards, like East Asian beauty standards, like things like that. Like how did you experience that growing up?
I think one very tangible example of this was when my mom would bring home a bunch of papaya soap from the like Seafood City or something, and I didn't know this until later on. I think my sister like pulled me aside one time and she was like, "Hey, you know that soap that all the aunties use? It's supposed to make your skin look, they say brighter, right? On the packaging it says brighter, but really it's skin lightening." And when I realized that, it was insane. I was like, "What? We're like naturally pretty, you know, brown. Like what? How is that? Why is that a thing?" And so that was like one of my earlier kind of realizations that a lot of, I know it's shifting now. It's not as, I think, common, but definitely back then when I was a kid, Filipinos would adopt a lot of kind of East Asian beauty standards and would enforce them onto their children. And definitely that's tied into the history of colonization and the placement of the Philippines within Asia as a whole.
I didn't know it was like papaya soap specifically. I've never heard of, I've seen like obviously the treatments of lightning therapy and treatment to like make your skin more fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they say, more fair, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, to this day, even it's good to avoid obviously UV exposure, like for health related reasons with cancer and stuff. But like, you know,
Yeah.
there's a certain point where it's, are you doing it for that or are you doing it for your image? And obviously there are like growing up, I would always hear like, oh, like you can't be too dark. It's going to look like you work in the fields and stuff like that. It's, and obviously that's associated
Yes.
with image and kind of like a hierarchy or caste system of people and like where you are socially. It's things like that. And, you know, we'd always carry like an umbrella to block the sun or a fan or a visor, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah, it's insane how culturally we dropped the scientific understanding that melanin protects us from very bad things. And so it's, yeah, it's pretty backwards and pretty hypocritical.
And I know you talked about this, but the nose, the pinching nose thing. And so I'm not, obviously my parents are from the Philippines, but I'm not ethnically Filipino. But like growing up, my mom would still like do like the pinching nose thing. I don't know if you want to elaborate more on that.
Yeah, definitely can. It's so
It's
interesting. I don't know. It started when I was a baby. I was told later on that a lot of my aunties and my grandma would pinch my nose as a baby, especially actually as a baby, because that's when we're most malleable. And so they would take my, small ass baby head and just like start pinching my nose whenever they got a chance to hold me. And apparently it was supposed to make my nose straighter and taller, and that definitely did not work. Like I still have like a very Filipino nose, and yeah, I remember even up until I want to say as late as fifth grade, aunties would still just like grab me and like pinch my nose. I think at that point they probably should have got the message. It's not going to do anything. Listen, I'm 10 now. I'm 10 years old. My nose is going to stay like this forever. I don't know. So, yeah.
they're in it for the long run.
Literally, they are strong in their belief.
Yeah, I remember like growing up because whenever I'd wash my face in the shower, I would literally pinch my nose, and like
Mm-hmm.
that's how I would wash it too, just
Yeah.
because like that was so, I guess, normal for me to think and like, oh, like yeah, like let me pinch my nose and just
Yeah.
maybe it'll help, as if
Mm-hmm.
it like matters or makes a difference, you know?
The beauty standards literally were ingrained in your subconscious. You didn't
Mhm.
even realize.
Yeah, like I didn't even
But
realize like what it was for sometimes, but
mm-hmm. It was even so bad to the point where I'd pick my nose as a kid, and my parents would be like, "Don't do that. It's gonna make your nostrils bigger, and your nose flatter." And I'm like, "Listen, I don't care. I need to pick my nose." Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah. So transitioning into the more mature age of middle school and high school, did you ever notice that your view of body image and beauty standards have changed by that point? Were they still the same from what your family and media kind of taught you?
it most likely changed after high school.
Mm-hmm.
It like almost remained the same up until the like throughout high school and everything, just because of the demographic I was surrounded by, and like it kind of remained the same. And then later on it changed where it kind of, to me, it kind of didn't matter. Some still stuck and like are still stuck today, I feel. But yeah, I don't know how have yours changed. I can't really think of anything.
I do feel like it changed when I was in high school.
Okay.
I think sort of a backtrack. I want to kind of give an example of who
Hmm.
my parents and all my aunties and uncles thought were, you know, these really good looking people. And it would be a lot of the Filipino teleserie actors. Like, hold on, let me think. I think there's like Mark Harris, I think. Like, that was like a big one. I guess to sum it all up for those who don't, you know, watch any teleserie, they are very fair skinned, very clean cut, very Spanish looking a lot of the time. They didn't really look that, you know, Southeast Asian. I want to say there was a lot of like the Spanish, not sunken eye, kind of like the stronger eyebrow bone, the brow bone,
Like
you
more
know,
deep set eyes.
deep set eyes, yeah,
Mm.
and
Mhm.
the obviously the taller nose, very chiseled, square chin, pretty European, right? But in the most Filipino way. So it was those types of actors that I feel like my parents were always like, oh, you know, that is the standard and whatnot.
I think the thing is though, a lot of those actors are not full Filipino. Majority of them
Yeah,
are not full Filipino. They are mixed with like some European, just non or just even non-Asian. So yeah.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I
That's
was gonna
true.
say because a lot of like even like models and billboards that you see in the Philippines, at least the last time I went there, it's always like fair skin, very East Asian influenced individuals, or even not even Asian individuals. Sometimes it would just be like non Asian individuals like on these billboards and for anything like that.
That's super true. I even wanna. I'm trying to search it up right now, but I mean, Miss Universe Philippines. I don't even remember seeing one in my lifetime that was full Filipino. I probably missed some because I, you know, some years I didn't watch Miss Universe, but I feel like their chances are they're gonna be half. There's no full, you know, Pinay Miss Universe. I swear. And if anything, one solid fact is the recent Miss Universe winners that were from the Philippines or high ranking ones, they were not full. Half white, half whatever. And then her successor I think was also not full Filipina.
Catriona Gray.
Catriona Gray, yeah, also not full. And I mean, I'm not diminishing the fact that they're gorgeous and talented and intelligent and beautiful and everything. But is Miss Universe Philippines not supposed to represent the country? Do they look like what the country looks like? You know, and I know that's not what pageants are for, but it does kind of mess with your head a little when you see these folks representing your country and they don't look like you. So,
I think it's more so the issue of because of how big Miss Universe is worldwide, and then when
mm-hmm.
not necessarily like, oh, do they like, yeah, like if they're from the Philippines, they grew up here, like they are Filipino and like they represent your country.
Yeah.
But to the world, if that's what they think like all Filipinos look like, that becomes the issue of like, oh, I love like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but it's like, oh, I love Filipinos, but it's like, oh, and then they see someone that doesn't look like Miss Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, oh, but not them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
then that's where the issue comes in. And
Mm-hmm.
like that, yeah, oh, I guess, yeah, I don't, I
Yeah.
don't like that.
No, that's such a good point for sure. That is the problem point. Like
Yeah.
when they don't realize that there's a wide array of images and visuals in the Philippines, and all folks get to see are those ones that might not look like the rest of the Philippines. Sorry, so we got here from talking about what I grew up with as like, you know, the quintessential beautiful, handsome people. And I want to say that at this point, I think it changed. Definitely at this point. But by high school, I was more aware that my beauty standards and what I wanted to look like were not aligned anymore with what I grew up thinking. And I think what definitely contributed to that was the internet, first of all, more specifically Tumblr. You know, I would see fuck yeah Filipino cuties, and I'm like, that's a Filipino ass person. They are gorgeous and they're beautiful. And seeing that they were celebrated online, I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Like, I want to look like my true self, you know, like as a Filipino. And I think that definitely helped me. And also seeing other folks at my school who were thriving and they also looked like me. I think being able to see that definitely helped me not have to idolize those Spanish looking people in the Philippines or, you know, idolizing Justin Timberlake who my mom was like obsessed with. And I'm like that like, you know, that at this point I can't have that be my body image my beauty standards because I guess I just saw, you know, myself in and around me more by high school, and I was able to own my own set of beauty standards for sure.
I mean, I understand and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I do think like social media and the internet have definitely influenced my idea of like body image or like that standard in a positive way, and that, you know, I see more people like me and like doing things and like I want to like pursue or things like that. But I also think social media could also influence in a negative way, right?
For sure.
And things like the one thing I could think of is like a Korean perm, and like yes, I got a perm. um, and I did it because there is that beauty standard, I guess, and I did want to like actually just change my hair because I always had a comb over and I was just tired of it. It's like the typical like Asian male like haircut you would get growing up, and I just had it for till I was like what 23, 21, and I was just tired of it. And I saw it online, and I'm like, maybe I want to do that. I don't know if that's necessarily a positive or negative thing because I feel like Korean beauty standards are becoming very common in, I mean, even worldwide, not just in the US, just everywhere. Almost everyone is getting a Korean perm. So
Yeah. It
yeah.
is. It is true, and I also feel it's in between. It's neither good nor bad. On the baseline, for me growing up, I never liked having like bone straight hair. Is that like the term? Like, yeah, yeah, and how it sticks out on the sides and whatnot. And I want to say that Koreans figured it out in that they know to flatten the sides and give, you know, texture on the top. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Not even having like an image to reference, but just the fact that I didn't like the straight hair. Like I didn't like that look. I wanted to change it, and I think it's not a. I mean, I know that there's a lot of Asian folks that do get perms, and it doesn't look super natural. I think if you get a, you know, true to Korean perm, it will look good. And I am a proponent of within reason and with avoiding any type of appropriations. If that makes you feel good and confident, then go for it. You know?
Mm-hmm. And because I was, when I was getting it, I was like, is it because an issue of like, do I just hate my straight hair, even though it's natural? It was more of the issue, like I kind of wanted a new hairstyle and something that I just would not have to deal with in the mornings, like waking up, having to do because I cannot style hair for the life of me, especially like when it was just, I mean, it's already almost gone now, but like when it was just like straight and like no volume, nothing. Yeah, there's no, I just think that they figured it out, and now everyone wants it.
I would also like to bring up within American mainstream media, Asians are breaking through the mold of, you know, being leaders in entertainment. And so I think for me personally, and we kind of talked about this in a previous episode, I forget which one, but it's about how we're seeing, oh, I think it was the Gay Awakenings episode.
Yeah.
Where we see more people that look like us in mass media and that can help us feel more empowered. And I think it just so happens that a lot of them, in fact, I mean, most of them, 99% of them are East Asian. And that I feel like can do good, but also can do harm. And I'll speak from my own Southeast Asian experience. As a Southeast Asian, as a Filipino man, I am aware that the people that are in these big leading roles and, you know, the K-pop idols and whatnot, they're not Southeast Asian. They don't culturally represent me in the sense of, you know, Filipino culture. And it does a little bit of harm in that, you know, Filipinos already have been adopting East Asian beauty standards, and the fact that a lot of East Asians and their beauty are put on pedestals in America, I think that can catalyze and be more of a reason for Filipinos to adopt more East Asian beauty standards. I think there's a side negative effect within that subsector of Southeast Asians. And even as a non-Korean, you know, like non-Koreans seeing Korean idols, and that can be a little bit of a reason of feeling not totally represented. I don't know if I went off on a tangent.
No. That makes. I mean, I agree. I think that I can't say because I am East Asian, and I think like I'm not Korean, but I am Chinese, and can't say it's the same experience. I understand what you're saying, and I do think kind of like, yes, it's a positive thing that we're moving towards Asian individuals making it into like mainstream media and everything, like making their way through. But it's still, there's still more like that can be done as well. And I think we are kind of still moving towards that. I don't know. I've noticed a lot more like Filipino, maybe it's just me because obviously it's my For You page, but like just more people like visiting the Philippines, like understanding Filipino culture and just any like other Southeast Asian countries as well. Just like trying to understand what else is out there and not just like East Asians.
Yes. So, and that brings me to wanting to bring up Twee. Twee, if y'all don't know, is a Southeast Asian Vietnamese pop star that is on the rise right now. And I actually just went to her concert recently, and in short, she was just talking about the fact that she's Vietnamese and she loves seeing her community support her. And one of the things she said to start off the concert, she was like, "Wow, you guys all look like me," and then proceeds to like sing her, you know, her set list, which is like she's a total pop star. She has everything.
That's so
was
cute.
just, it felt so validating down to the, you know, to my own sense of body image and beauty standards, because that is literally an Asian American woman up there on the rise, you know, within the ranks of just all the rising LA, you know, music artists. And I was like, this is so big for Southeast Asians, and I feel like that can totally affect our sense of beauty, you know, beauty standards and body image, seeing people that physically look like us, you know, on these pedestals. And it was just a huge kind of refreshing moment for me to be like, damn, it's no longer just East Asian peoples that have a seat at the table. I think within the near future, there will be tons of all types of Asians, you know, being able to get that limelight. So, yeah.
So I know like another, I mean, this is like a huge aspect of body image is going to the gym and aiming and pursuing a specific physique because of maybe what you see online, or maybe because it's a goal that you might have. But I know like within the gay community, there's like this standard that you have to look a certain way. You have to be fit. You have to fit within a certain like tribe, I guess, in order to be accepted or like get attention and stuff like that. And for people who know me, I know like I feel like I look the same, but obviously it's me, but I've changed physique wise because I go to the gym a lot. And I started it because just for my own mental health, whenever I was stressed, whenever I felt down or sad, I would go to the gym because it was like a safe place for me to just be in my own thoughts. But like, I don't know if it's slowly becoming to the point where it's like, am I doing this for me or am I doing it for someone else? And I always tell myself that I'm doing it for me because that is where I started from. and that is the reason why I started going to the gym and being more active. But it's like my subconscious is telling me I'm doing it for others as well. And not to say that that's wrong, but it's just, again, that whole image, body image standard, especially within our community, that like people feel the need to go to the gym, to work out, to like look a certain way. And it is definitely emphasized through social media and through like different dating apps and platforms.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with that. Well, to a point. Well, because in all honesty, I don't go to the gym, that regularly, and definitely not as regularly as you do. And am I wasting my money for my gym membership right now? Probably. Like, I don't go enough to make it worth it. But to that point, it's not worth it because I really only go when I feel like I need to. And it's usually when I want to get that pump before an event, or, or if I'm like, going somewhere where I'm going to take pictures or something that I would post online. It's all the way up to that. Like I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to go to this event and I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to want to post it. So I'm going to want to go to the gym. And it's like, why? Like, why do I do that? I hate it. I hate it. But I don't know. I think I'm just so, I guess, trained to think about social media in that regard when it comes to the gym and actually taking care of my physical health. Like, I should be thinking of it, right, in the sense of physical health, but no, it's for the hoes, on Twitter. I'm just kidding. Who said that? What? Anyway. No, that sound on TikTok where it's like, the hoes gonna love this. I'm like, that's me when I go to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is that underlying, because with time, like, obviously it's become same thing of, oh, like there's an event coming up, I gotta push myself harder, that extra rep and stuff like that. But I do go like for my own mental health, but I know that there's an underlying reason as well, unfortunately. And I don't know if you've noticed, or at least in my experience, I've noticed, it's so stupid, but because of how different I look now, people either message me differently, or people who never messaged me would talk to me now. And I know like others have experienced that too, because it is the sad truth of certain apps. And there is another thing about, that G app, that is an issue.
The coffee app.
The coffee app.
Yeah.
The filters. I mean, I know it's been worse before and like they've made changes, but it's still bad now. And the thing you brought up of what is the weight, like your specs.
It's gross. It's disgusting. Yeah. It's pretty bad. And from, having a lot of queer friends and whatnot, I have had people tell me, like on the women loving women apps, they don't have weight, and they don't even have a lot of the physical body stat kind of parts in your bio. And I'm like, damn, because Grindr literally has everything.
Every filter.
Everything.
Every spec.
And yeah, I think if that can completely affect young queer people who want to go on the app and meet people, in a completely wholesome way, and they see that a lot of people put their weight on their bios. And I feel like that can be pretty damaging in terms of their view on the community, as if we care, we like queer people tend to care, but I want all the gaybies to be like, no, like, this isn't everyone. And yeah, that just seeing that, like, oh, your weight under your name on a profile, I just think that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
And not only that, I just realized also there is literally a part for body type. Like stocky, average, what else, like slim, like they have categories to
Yeah.
place yourself under in addition to the weight. So it's like it just adds to even more of the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, just knowing that not only can you put that on your bio, but people who pay money for the app can filter that on.
And filter
And-
out what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty it's pretty, I want to say, controversial. This might go more into our dating episode in the future on dating apps and whatnot, being able to filter. But that can do so much damage to your body image, I think. We already have the reputation of, gay men being super picky, super exclusive, cliquey, and I just think that doesn't help at all.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, having that on the app. So
Does Hinge? I think we did. Hinge has like an ethnicity filter, right?
yes, there is. Yeah,
And it's
and
like
then you can even put, is this a deal breaker?
deal. Yeah,
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
that's
Yeah.
so. Honestly, I'm surprised that
Yeah.
Hinge does. But I remember like seeing it, and I was like, "This is an option."
Yeah.
Yeah, a deal breaker. That's insane.
hmm
Uh,
That goes down to the nitty gritty of having preferences, and whatnot. So I don't know. That can probably be more fleshed out in the dating episode.
So we'll definitely talk more about that later.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So growing up, obviously we talked about it earlier. There were a lot of kind of things that our family elders would do to try to make us have fairer skin, have a taller nose, and whatnot. There's one that actually did kind of like in a kind of lighthearted way, but still pretty truthful. That something that affected my sense of body image and standards and whatnot. It was every New Year's. There's a superstition that you have to jump, or if you're a kid, your parents would like grab you and throw you up as soon as the new year ends, so that you will grow in height, within the year, in the new year. And although, like, obviously, yeah, it's funny, like, it's a superstition, but it did kind of affect me because I'm a short person. I'm pretty short. And so whenever, my parents would, like, tell me to jump and whatnot when I was a kid, because I was always pretty short, I would, like, internalize it, and I'm like, damn, I am short, huh? Like, I should be getting taller. And I want to say that is probably one of my bigger body image issues that I had growing up was my height, because I was very short in comparison to my classmates throughout my life. Yeah, stuff like that. I know it's not like super, like deep and whatnot, but it did kind of like make me see myself differently, small stuff like that. Yeah.
I know that's really because when you brought that up, I was like, I thought I just did that, but
Yeah.
for us, it wasn't necessarily like them throwing us up, but it was us jumping down the stairs every New Year's.
What?
And so it sounds crazy, right? But
yeah, that does sound crazy.
apparently it's just like single steps, but I would literally jump like 9 steps down the stairs.
For what? What does that do?
To grow. Like that would make
Oh.
you taller. So like it's very similar in how you said it, where it's like jumping will make you taller at the new year.
Yeah.
I don't know how that came in.
Well,
but it's-
shit, maybe I should have tried your method because you're tall as. I should have
you
tried
should have
that.
done 9 steps, not the
Yeah.
single.
Ah, dang it. Ah.
But it's interesting to hear that because I didn't even think about how that like superstition or like thing would affect someone as an
Yeah.
individual. And I mean, it could just be because I am more of like a taller person. So I never thought about it. And
Yeah.
I would always tell my brother and sister because they are shorter than me. And we would have like I would always be the one to jump and they would like stop. And then so growing up, I say, well, it's because you didn't jump. Or like we had this soup that like we would put ginseng in, like
Mhm.
this medicinal obviously thing.
That sounds
and, like,
delicious. Mhm.
in beef soup, and
Yeah.
I would always drink it, but my brother and sister never would. But again, that could
Whoa.
just be, it's just genetics, right?
No, yeah, but also the ginseng soup. I think that
It could be. I
definitely.
mean, because I am like, my parents are not tall, so
Hmm. Damn,
I don't
I need some of that soup,
know.
honestly, before I turn 25. That's that's interesting. I do want to say though, like, height, I feel like in comparison to a lot of other body image issues, it is there, but
Mhm.
it's not as scrutinized, I want to say, in a lot of cultures as much as body weight and physique.
Yeah.
So that's probably why also you never noticed it. But for some people, I think it does hit a little differently. That's just crazy how it's so ingrained that they'll make superstitions
Oh
to
my God.
like try to fix you, to try to fix your
Yeah.
body. Okay, so to lightly like kind of talk about body image that I've experienced, I've been pretty like lean to thin. I think I was the most like chunkiest in high school, like late high school, because I didn't do any sports senior year, but it wasn't anything that I felt pressured or scrutinized in any way. But I still felt pressure throughout college as a queer person, as a gay man within the gay community. I feel like I felt a lot of pressure to stay that way. And granted, even though I knew that I didn't have that many body image issues growing up, I like acquired them, by the pressure, like you said, of going to the gym for other people and wanting to please people whose attention I want to get. And I'm like, I was never that type of person, but within a community that can be toxic in that regard, I did. I felt that. And I remember realizing that in college, feeling shitty for it. So yeah, I just wanted to note that like I didn't have that many body image issues except like my height, I guess, growing up, but being integrated into the community, I gained some body image issues. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunately a shared experience with a lot
Yeah.
of people. And I
Hmm.
like what you said of like doing it to get someone's attention. Like that just sucks.
That's really
Like
bad.
trying to just do it just so you can talk to them. If you do go to the gym, do it for yourself. Don't do it for others. Yeah. Just
Exactly.
honestly, that's with everything though. It's just good for your own health.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's a huge issue. And I don't even know if it's gotten better recently. Yeah, it's like it's so ingrained in the
Hmm.
community.
Yeah, no, I think you summed it up really well. I just want to like reiterate what you said, which was the male gaze. It is
Oh,
100% that it's literally done so that you can please other males because that's what males look for.
hmm
So even straight males, like that is literally
that
why.
is,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, if you see the people at the gym, like
yeah,
I see people flexing in the mirror at the gym so much,
yeah. So they could impress their bros,
and I'm
like it's
like,
not even.
what
Yeah,
is going on?
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's definitely it's for sure the male gaze.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having a conversation with Chantal. It was about that, and it made sense that obviously it's the male gaze because of our sexuality. So
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's only males involved.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
though it's hard to, I guess, unlearn as a community. At least we know a big culprit, which is what you said, the male gaze. And if we were to try to fix it, that would be the one thing we should consider is, are we doing this for ourselves or are we doing this to please other males and fit some other standard that was put on us, kind of.
yeah. Baby
Anyway.
steps, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So time for the Q&A session.
Yay!
Our question from me to you, Mel. Like, do you have any
Mm-hmm.
plans? I know the holidays are coming up. Do you have any plans that family, friends, anything exciting going on?
Yes. What am I doing actually? I probably my main thing that's planned is going to. It's not even planned. I'm going to a New Year's rave. I don't know which one. but I'm going to one of them, so we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah,
nothing's established yet.
nothing's
You don't know.
established yet. We haven't bought tickets yet, but we will soon. And I'm sad because our PA is not going to be around. So, boo.
Sorry, guys. I'm
Yeah.
keeping the rave fam together.
What-
My bad.
What
That's
is
fine.
our PA's plans for the holidays, if you would like to share?
Oh my god, me? Little old me?
Mia?
I'm actually going to be in the Philippines for 3 weeks. I'm
That's
not
fun.
lying.
Yay.
That sounds so
Yeah.
nice.
I'm excited. But I'm going to be sad because I'm not going to be here. I've never spent
Sad.
a Christmas without my dad's side of the family. So I'm
This
like,
is your first time?
yes.
Oh.
It's happened, or
Nice.
it's like almost happened in the past, but I was able to make it work. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I found a way around it. But yeah. So that's like the only downside of this. Kevin,
Yeah.
any plans?
That'll be fun though. I wish I was going to either count down OMFG or the Philippines. One of those
Boo.
things.
You're not doing any of them.
I know.
Boo.
No, we have family visit
Boring.
every year, so they come to our place.
They can come to the rave too, just saying.
True, just make it a family event, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to the Philippines, but we didn't really plan it, so it's a little too late, and it gets expensive. So, but other than that, I think that's it. Just we always have family over, so it'll be fun. Just the
Mhm.
usual things.
That sounds very fun. I hope you get lots of presents.
Me too.
Yeah. And on that note, our next question actually is, what do you want for Christmas for any of our viewers to listen and, access our Amazon wish list? I'm just kidding. But
Link in bio.
yeah, goodbye, everyone.
No, see, that's hard because my parents asked me the same thing, and it's like it's a bad habit, but like if I see something that I want, I typically buy it. Except for things that like are super expensive. There is something that I haven't gotten yet that I was supposed to get last weekend, but it's typical, I know, Vivienne Westwood necklace, but not the pearl one. It's
Not
just
the pearl one.
the chain one. But yeah, last time I went to LA and they closed as soon as I got there.
No,
I
Vivian,
know.
open up the door.
Up. Oh, what about you, Phil? Anything?
I don't want much, but if
But
if you're asking, on the top of my list are the Mocha Jordan 1s, retro Jordan 1s, Mocha, or Mocha Dunks. I'm a size 8.5, everyone, and a MagSafe charger and a MagSafe case. Because listen, I need that. Do you have that? I hate you. Don't even show me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
This too.
Give me right now.
Oh my god, it's stuck, but I have the charger right here too.
Do you love it? Is it nice? Like,
I love the case, not so much the charger, I will say.
but you just put it on it and then you leave, and then it's
But-
done charging immediately.
Not immediately.
Is it not? Is it not?
I
Is
think
it
it charges
slower?
slower.
Oh,
I know they say it's supposed to, but I don't know. And it also gets really hot because wireless charging is not efficient.
oh,
What I would say is save your money and get the case, but also get
and you
this.
get me one.
Maybe
Your
I
favorite
did.
co-host. Oh, you did it.
Did you check your mail?
I gotta check right out after this.
A MagSafe charger, like a wireless charger, is so
Uh-huh.
ideal. So, and you could plug it in too. And so you could like literally like stick it to the case and it would charge.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, that's sick.
Apple sells one too, but it's more expensive and it doesn't charge your phone. It just kind of keeps the battery alive.
Oh, that's weird.
that makes sense.
Like
It's
a backup.
It's for battery health because you're not supposed to charge your phone that much.
That's true. That's true. Oh, I guess
I
you're
recommend
right.
that.
Anyway, we're not sponsored for any of this, so we're not going to talk about it that much.
But
Oh.
Anchor, if you want to sponsor us,
Anchor. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. But yeah. Anyway, that's what we want for Christmas. So link in bio. DM us if you want to buy us stuff. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you in advance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching once again. Don't forget to follow us at the QA Podcast on Instagram. DM us any questions you have. Check out bit.ly/the QA subs for any questions. And yeah, there also is a Q&A typically on Spotify if you are a Spotify listener. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching.
Everyone, please submit us questions and comments and everything. We want to talk to you. Please. And yeah, everyone have a happy holidays and we'll see you at the next one.
Happy holidays.
Bye.